Hello everyone, this is Hoda Ganji. In this video, we're going to continue with our urban context study in Revit, and we're going to work on a shading study. So last time we created an urban context using building mass. When you use building mass, next time you open the file, it's not going to show. Just type VG or W for visibility graphics. Hit M here. Check the box for mass, okay, and it's gonna show. I'm gonna, this part here, this is my topo surface. For now, I'm gonna right click and hide this for now. We can bring it back later. That's our conceptual mass. Also in 3D, go with VG, M, mass, and okay. Now you see the mass. In your file, you should have created the rest of the masses, so you see the whole complete area. I'm also going to my south elevation, and here also I'm going to type VG, bring the mass. Okay. And let's check the site. In this area, which is a parking right now, we want to have a parking structure that goes in several stories, so we can have more parking. If I put my site and south elevation, you see that the south elevation is tilted. Remember before in the site plan, we changed the project north, right? So it was true north before. The south elevation is still showing the true north rather than project north. So here in my site view, I'm going to change this back to project north. The way to fix it is go to the symbol for the elevation and rotate it like this. So it's going to snap when it gets correct. So now it looks correct over there too, right? I also want to have a section here, not working exactly on the south elevation, but the section. So I'm going to go with view, section, looking up here. I'm going to open this section. I'm going to type VG, visibility graphics, M, check the box for mass. So we see the mass. I'm going to check the site here, click on that section, and I need to move it further, so in my section I can see the mass. I'm gonna use WT so I can put the section and the side next to each other. For now I'm gonna focus on this building, so I'm gonna go with a smaller crop region. Feel free, if you want, you can go with fine level of details or shaded, although we don't have much details yet here. Now let's say we're gonna create a window here. In this view, I also want to click on my topography for now, right click, hide in view element. And I want to select my levels, right click, I'm going to go with maximize 3D extent, so it goes outside here. Let's assume that maybe the first level is about 80 centimeters above the ground, so I'm going to type LL in my section view. I'm going to offset level 1 by 0.8 towards down here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to maybe use the add elbow here, and I'm going to name this ground level. Ground level, yes, I'm going to change the name. Now that I have ground level, how about I move everything 80 centimeters up? So I'm going to select all my levels like this, move them up by 0.8. So now ground level is at 0, level 1 is at 0.8, and so on. Then I'm going to make a window here. Okay, let's assume that the window, its sill height is 1.8 meter above the street grade. So above 0 is going to start at 1.8. I'm going to type RP, pick one line and go with 1.8 meters above the street level, or maybe I can just draw around here. So that's going to be the bottom of the window, which is, if I get the dimension here, you see that it's 1.8 meters above the street level. Now we also have 2.2 meters here. Maybe I can go with another reference plane, and I'm going to consider another 1.8 meter, this one for the height of the window. Okay, so it's 1.8 meters above the ground level, which is a sill height 1 meter inside the room, because the level is 0.8 meters up, and the height of it is a little bit higher here. So I'm going to create this window here, and I'm going to make sure that when we create a building mass in this area, it is not going to affect that window. So also here in my section line, if I select it, I want to move it a little bit up, so it's not in my future building mass, but it's rather in the street here. Okay. Maybe on this other direction, I can also draw one reference plane, RP, from here going up. And let's see, what's the width here? 3 meters. So let's say I'm going to go with another RP, 1.2 meters, pick this line, or maybe let's go with 1 meter, so it's a width of 2 meters overall for the window. So I'm gonna erase this reference plane. Within these 4 reference planes, we're gonna have a window which has a width of 2 meters and a height of 1.8 meter. Okay, so just to show where the window goes, I'm going to click on the mass, edit in place. I want to go with create. I also want to see the mass in 3D, so I'm going to also have my 3D view open. I can go with WT again, so I see all my views. Before I continue, I want to set a plane, pick a plane, okay. In 3D, I want to pick this surface, and the rest of it, I want to work in section 1. In section 1, let's create, under create, I'm going to create a rectangle here. And then I want to create a void form for this rectangle. As soon as you hit escape, it already cut that area, and it's considering a depth of 0.8, which is too much. Let's say only we have a depth of 0.3. So this is where my window would go, finish the mass, and here, that within that area, that's our window. Okay, so let's just focus on that window, which is the lowest window of this building. And the question here is how we can create a mass in a way that we still have 2 hours of direct light on the lowest window sill, which is this one, on the worst condition, which is the shortest day of the year. Now let's get back to our building. We're gonna have 1.2 meters building setback. So I'm gonna go to my site plan, TW, and I want to go with RP. We're gonna have 1.2 meters setback. So I'm gonna pick some lines, go with 1.2. So I'm gonna click inside this one, this one, this one, and this one. If you want, feel free to drag the corners out. So within this 1.2 meter setback is where the building mass is going to be. We are still on the conceptual level of the design, that's why we're going to use a building mass. Then it says 22 meters is the maximum building height to the highest point. So in my section 1, I'm going to type RP. 22 is from ground level, from 0. So I'm going to go with 22. I'm going to pick my level 0, and I'm going to click there. It says that you cannot see it here. It's because our crop region is too low. I'm going to drag this up. So over there, it's 22. If I get a dimension, 22 meters above the grade. Okay, so the building mass that we're going to design should not go above this reference plane. We're going to consider 4 meter maximum level 1 for the height, which is good. So from ground level to level 2, I'm gonna go with 4 meters, and then 3.8 minimum floor to floor height. Okay, so for the next floors, I'm going to use 3.8. Let's say we're gonna have a little bit of a higher height in each level. So I'm gonna click on one of these levels. So I'm gonna click on level 3. I'm gonna say from now on, instead of 3.2, let's go with 3.8 here. Next one, click on this one, 3.8 here. And I'm going to keep going. LL, offset the previous level by 3.8. So one over there, one over there. And the last one is going to be above that height, so I'm not going to create one more, or maybe I can create one more, and then let's see, from here to here is 2.8, so I can level this last one based on this level. We want it to be 2.8. Okay, so now my last level is at 22, DI over there, 2.8. No A rights provided at any height level for this slot. What does it mean? It means that the setback that we considered, if there are any projections outside of the building mass, it should still be within the setback in higher levels. Let's just create a mass right now here. These 2 extra reference planes, I can get rid of it. That was just for the window. So I'm gonna go with massing on site, in place mass. Okay, I'm gonna name it parking, and for now let's go with the maximum area that we can use, which is setback on this corner to setback on that corner. Create a form, finish the mass. How about I move my section 1 a little bit lower? Right now that is the new building, right? And it should cast shadows. Right now, if you don't assign any material, if I turn the shadows on, that one is not casting shadows, right? So what we can do is that I'm gonna click on the mass. Let's go with edit in place, click on, hit tab, select the whole thing, and I'm gonna create a new material. I went with colors before, so let's go with another color here. I'm gonna go with a green color. In graphics, I'll follow the render appearance, and in appearance, I'm gonna set it to be a green color for now. Okay, and okay. Now that it has the material, it can cast shadows. Finish mass. I can also turn the shadows on in my site plan using shadows on. I'm gonna put my site view and 3D view next to each other. Last time we set the location to be Toronto. Let's check it again. Manage location. Default city list, it's still on Toronto. That's good. Okay. And now in my sun settings, we want to go with a single day study, and we're gonna go with winter solstice solar study because that's gonna be the shortest day of the year. I'm gonna go with sunrise to sunset. So you see that sunrise is almost about 8 a.m. Sunset is about 4:30. So it's a really short day. It's 21st of December. Let's see. It says cast shadow on level 1. So I'm gonna go with cast shadow on level 1. That's good. I'm gonna say okay. Then we're gonna go here, go with solar study, and let's rotate here in a way that we see our window. Remember we had a window over there, and I want to keep going. Maybe click here, frame by frame, next frame, and see that the sun changes, but it's still, even at like around noon, 11:53 a.m., the whole window is in shadow. next frame, next frame, next frame. It's all in shadow. All over the day, the window is in shadow, right? So we need to make some changes in our building mass in a way that that specific window, which is our lowest window, still has 2 hours of direct sunlight. That's the question. Let's remove the shadow for a second. Okay, then I want to draw another section. So in my site plan view, section, let's see it from this end of the building. Draw one section here. I'm gonna go to this section, type VG, Visibility Graphics, and check the box for mass. In my site plan, I need to click on the section, move it further like this. So in my section 2, I can see it. I can go with shaded if it helps. And here, this is the other building. By the way, it seems that the bottom of this mass is not going all the way to the ground level, so I'm gonna move it all the way here. Also maybe for this building, it should go all the way down. And now actually our building was already too high. We wanted the height to be no more than 22. So I'm gonna move this down till it hits 22. So we can work with this in several ways. For instance, how about I grab this reference plane, move it up, and another one we have here. Let's check what's the width of this building. DI from here to here is about 22 meters. I want to type RP, and let's assume about 5.5 meter I want to consider for the span. Pick this line, going over here, going over there, going over there. So maybe these are our divisions. And here on this last side, I want to say that on this last span, maybe we don't want to have a floor on our highest level of the building. So I want to go here. How about I bring my site plan as well, WT, and I want to create another void. Let's remove the shadows. I'm going to go with selecting this mask, the green one, edit in place, and we want to go with one rectangle here from this corner to here, and I'm gonna say turn it into a void form. And let's see, now it goes 2 down. I'm gonna select this, move this up till here. So what happened is that we consider that here is not going to have a level, finish the mass. We need to repeat the solar study. Let's see the window over there. Let's actually go with a solar study on the 3D view. In my 3D, I'm just gonna check my sun settings again. Actually, I had set my sun settings in site level. I also need to set it in 3D. Sun settings, single day, winter solstice, Toronto, Ontario. That's good. Now here, next keyframe, next keyframe. See that starting here, the building at the top is getting some sunshine at 11:53. Next keyframe. Oh, next frame actually. So frame by frame. But it doesn't allow that part of the building is still to get any sunshine. So I'm going to go here, click on my building, and I'm gonna move this one span away. Then in my view here, I'll go with my solar study again, going to the first keyframe, which is sunrise, which is 7:53 a.m. Next keyframe, keyframe by keyframe. It's still not good. Let's move this one more to the left. Here, go with solar study again. Keyframe, 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 keyframe. Okay, so it seems that the issue is this other corner of the building at the moment, so I'm going to use another void here. Let's go with edit in place. In the site plan, I'm gonna draw another rectangle here till there, and I'm gonna say make this a void form. Click here on this view, and let's say maybe it's going to cut the building till this level. Finish the mass, and I'm going to go back to my solar study, starting from sunrise. It's getting better, but it still is not good enough, right? So because still this part is blocking, so let's move this here and then try the solar study again. Next frame, still not good enough. So I'm gonna create one more void form here on my level 4. So I'm gonna go here, edit in place. I'm gonna say create a rectangle, pick a plane. I'll go with this level, which is my level 4. I'll go with level 4, so it's gonna ask me for a plane. I'm gonna say go to level 4, okay, and I'm gonna work on my site plan here. Let's draw another rectangle from this corner to this corner. I'm gonna make it a void form. So if I click here, it made another void form here. See, this is previous mode, this is the new one. Finish mass, going to here, continue with the solar study. Next frame, still not close enough, so I'm gonna go here, move this one more down, and let's see if it makes any changes. Not really, so I'm gonna also move this one down and this one down, and let's try this. So it seems that the issue is in here. At this time I want to maybe go with a different void form here. So I want to go with edit in place, and I want to set one of my reference planes on this end of the building, going to section 2, okay. And here I want to go with create. I want to model a triangle here, and I want to create a void form out of it. Let's look at the other side of the building here. Hidden line. So it didn't make it a void exactly. I want to select, oh, because it didn't create the last corner, so I'm going back here. I want to go with model, another line here. This line, now I selected the whole triangle. I want to make a void form. Okay, for the void here, let me see how far is the other side of the building. DI from here to here, it's 187 meters. So I want to click here. I would like to click here, and where it says 1 meter, I'm gonna say go with 188 meters. So it's gonna cut the whole building. Finish the mass, and feel free to go with the solar study again. I'm gonna go with solar study. We are getting close, but it's still not good enough. So over here, I'm gonna go back to my edit in place. I'm gonna click here. Let's move this plane a little bit down, like about 1.8 meters lower. Finish the mass. So now we have less height over there. So I'm going to go back to my solar study. frame by frame. Now it seems that at sometime between 11:53 to 12:53 it starts getting lights, which is good. In the solar study in sun settings, if you need, you can go with intervals of 30 minutes. Now I'll go back to my solar study. So the twirl lighting needs to go all the way to the bottom of the window, so I need to actually even load this further. I wanna click here, go to my editing place, and instead of 1 I'll go with 0.5 here, or actually I might even go with 0 and finish the mask. And it seems that it's still, I need a little bit more lighting here, so I'm gonna go back here, edit in place. So we had a void here. I wanna hit tab here, select this last void that we have, and in section 2 I want to move it from this corner to this corner and finish the mask. So now that void is lower, and it seems that it's working much better actually. So if I go back to my solar study, next frame, so at 12:23 it starts getting light to 2:23, so exactly towards. Let's go take a look here. It seems that my levels names are not consistent. It jumps from level 1 to level 6, so I'm gonna name level 6 to be 5. Yes, I'm gonna go with TW so it's easier. Level 7, I want it to be level 6 instead. Yes, and level 8, maybe I can just name this as roof plane. Okay, select the mask, go with mask floors, and go with mask floors, and then level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I want to have some mask floors. Okay. Now that we have the mask floors, we can go with mask floor schedules. I'm gonna go to my mask, hit the plus sign, mask floor schedule. The things I want to see in the schedule is the count, the level, more importantly is actually floor area, and I can say okay here, control plus, make this a bit larger, go back to the mask, and I wanna also see what is my total. So under formatting floor area, I want to say calculate totals. Okay, and for that to show, you need to check the box for grand totals. Okay, let's go to one of my levels on the floor plan, level 1. Let's see what's the crop region here. I want to just go with my new building. That's the focus here, just a new building. I can move this section to be inside the building maybe. And this section, maybe we're gonna see the whole area here. I wanna go with shaded here,